Hi everyone and welcome to this intermediate Noodle session. Hope I don't sound like a robot today. I tried to fix the mic settings in my Why am I seeing this on my screen? In my broadcasting, so I hope that's actually working now. And yeah, I'm seeing something weird there. The screen is frozen. Can I unlock that? Does that work? How do I unblock that screen? Yeah. Okay, let's add that back in again. macOS screen capture sounds good, doesn't it? Oh god. That's the one. There we go. Okay, sorry for technical difficulties. We are back, we are live. And where am I? Okay, put that up here, put that down here. Ta-da! There I am. Okay. What a streaming noob. But I got the mic fixed. That's something important. That was a short and sweet introduction today. So today I'm going to do some more intermediate level noodling. I'm going to take you through a day in the life of me fixing bugs in another app I'm working on, which is called Resourceful Classmate. And so Resourceful Classmate is a learning management system built for a French company, which will be launched very, very soon. So it's very exciting, but I thought this is a good opportunity to show some higher level noodling. I'm not going to go through that much and sort of pedagogy in this video. I'll just go through what I have to do and explain a bit what I'm doing along the way, but you would need to know a lot of Noodle basics to be able to follow this, I think. So anyway, we'll get started. So I'll present the app a little bit and we'll do our first bug afterwards. The app is a learning management system where you can buy lessons as an English teacher. So you're working in France, you're teaching English, you want to sell your lessons and you want to have content that you can deliver in that lesson. Well then, you might need to do 6 sessions with a university group or with a company. Teaching adults English, and so you would buy this course for $12 and you would have a ton of content to be able to use in your lessons. And if you subscribe to a monthly subscription, you can also get this learning management system style interface where you can give assignments and you can change the default template. You can make your own duplicate template and change it and add your own stuff. So this is using TinyMCE text editor as a module, which very kindly Eric helped build in the Noodle team, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we can set assignments. Learners can, when you send an assignment to someone, they can have to upload a video or audio or upload a file like a Word document or send a text message to say that they've finished the activity, and then you can correct it with them and give them a grade, give them a score. So very cool application. It was a pleasure to work on this project. It's a really, really cool idea. And it's kind of a mix between when I started noodling and some of the new node graphs you're going to see are super messy, because it was like starting out and just putting things where I thought they should go and learning about how it works. So a lot of these things can definitely be made more efficient. They work fine, but they could be made more elegant, let's say, than efficient. They work perfectly fine, but they could definitely be made more elegant. I could package these together a bit better. And, I've learned a lot more about noodling since. So you'll see parts where it's elegant and good, and you'll see parts where it's really kind of like experimenting with some new feature that I found in Noodle that I didn't know about before. And so that's where we're going to start, with something where I was experimenting a bit. So the first bug is that you cannot delete a learner or a group from your learner and group lists. That's in here. Learners. So you have a list of learners and they are assigned classes, and then you have your classes here, and they I don't know why that says no class. That's probably another bug, but we should fix that. Oh, there, that's better. I don't know why that happened. So this is actually a repeater that uses the same repeater template item, but changes the text and the content depending on which tab has been clicked in these pills up above. So this is the first point that's important, because when we click delete, it's, let's get into this page and have a look. When we click delete in the learner group list, so you've got your pills at the top that switch between learners and groups, and we have type selected as a component object. So if I click class, then it changes to groups. The naming conventions weren't exactly up to scratch, sorry, but yeah, when we talk about classes on the front end and in the back end, I talk about groups, because I don't want to call it class, because in the database the different tables are called classes, so that would be bad. So anyway, this is where we want to start. Let's start with learners and make sure that we can delete a learner. So at the moment you've got an edit pop-up, which is coming from the pop-up modal, which is here in the prefabs in the Noodle library. You have a thing called pop-up modal. And what's cool about pop-up modal is it gives you this really nicely pre-laid out way of putting in pop-ups, where you say what the title of the pop-up is, you say what the description is, which is like the first line. So we'll do delete and I'll show you. So it says, you know, are you sure you're about to delete a learner? This action can't be undone. The primary button label, the secondary button label. So all these things are already set up by the Noodle guys for us just to put in the values where it's placed, and then have that do something. So I added a thing called pop-up type, because I want there to be several different elements here in a component stack inside the pop-up that can change depending on, is it an add learner pop-up, is it an add group pop-up, is it a delete learner pop-up, is it a delete group pop-up. So at the moment there's no pop-up type, which means I've just left this blank and not done this part yet, which is very silly. So we need to go to where the pop-up was called, which is inside this line here. So here we go. So the icon delete. Why have I not named these? Bad. Edit icon, delete icon. So I've packaged these. I've packaged icons into buttons in this app. It helps to make it work a bit better. So there's like the icon group, which is clickable, then the icon itself, which takes its source. If you want to have an icon be dynamic, you have to use a function, which Kata very kindly gave to me, which is this. It's not very complicated. You just have to make an object, a JavaScript object, based on the inputs that you've got, like the icon name, and the icon name must be the Google Materials icon name, like thumbs_up, and not the kind of pretty name, but like the official kind of code name for that. So anyway, if you want to know more about that, just send me a message. But this means that you can switch the icons with different background colors with states. So I've got a states node that switches out the colors. If I say that it's a blue icon or a green icon, then it's going to change the color of the icon where I place it. So it's just kind of a buffed up version of the icon element itself. Anyway, so we click on delete and that goes pop up, and it says and pop up type is blank because we don't have that delete learner pop up type yet. So that's where we need to go in here, get our states. So because we connected it to the inputs, it means that I get that drop down menu, which is really handy when you're placing a pop up in all sorts of different places. And this was an experiment to see how far can I push one reusable component pop up. Can I use the same pop up element everywhere? The answer was not everywhere, because there were some pop-ups that were very specific that I wanted to do in a very special way, and I would have had to do a lot of work to make that happen. But I didn't. Here it was fine. When we're doing like add learner, delete learner, that was all gravy. So delete learner and delete. No. Are we going to say delete learner and delete group are two different types? Or should we say delete learner and group is one type, and then I pass through into the pop-up the value of the type value? I think I can do that because, do I not already have that in here? So this is really messy, but it's purposefully messy. Yeah, so I have these things, and then that one is going to have to, so yeah, in here I'm going to need to have that, is it a group or is it a yeah, is it a group or is it a learner? So either, well, yeah, no, let's just do, no, let's have the, let's go that route. Let's do, so with pop-up type, we're going to add a new port that's called type data, maybe something like that. I move that up to general. Okay, so type data goes into, so we're going to have a state called, delete learner group, and then that's going to change the pop-up type. Yes. Okay. Or do we really need that? Can we just use the confirmed signal? Thinking. What's the best way to do this? So we don't have a confirmed signal because button clicked is not going to confirmed. At the moment, button clicked is going to one of these conditions that manages the workflows for the other types of pop-up. So if, for example, this is a create course pop-up, then it's gonna, when this button is clicked, it's gonna evaluate, is this a click course pop-up? So like here, it's which pop-up should be shown. Is this going to be a create course pop-up? So if the type comes in and then we have the output create course, then it runs this workflow. So I need to say, well, if it's a delete workflow, then you need to maybe just output the confirmed signal. Maybe that's what we need to do. So we need to close pop-up and output confirmed signal, which I think we can do, can we? Yeah, close action confirmed, exactly. So yeah, let's maybe go that route instead. So we're gonna do a condition and we'll say we have a new, so this is a really handy thing to do, and that I learned from another project one of the Noodle guys did, using switch code. So giving an input pop-up type, and then I know the list of different states that it could be, and so I make the different cases. And I can add another one here, like case delete learner group is gonna be outputs delete learner group equals true, and that's it, isn't it? Break. So if it detects that the input is delete learner group, then it'll output delete learner group true and then stop looking. So that will go then here, delete learner group. So if delete learner group satisfies this condition, confirm delete learner or group, then it's gonna fire the close signal and it's gonna fire the confirmed signal. So we're gonna close the pop-up and output confirmed to show on the closed side of the pop-up, yeah, actually they did click the button, they didn't just cancel, they clicked delete. So that should fire confirmed if the pop-up type is right. So we don't want type data anymore. We're not gonna input whether it's a group or a learner. We're just going to say whatever it is that they want to delete, we confirm they want to delete it. And on your side, on my side, on the sort of list side, then I'm going to say, well, it's a learner, so we'll delete the learner. So we've got the right state, and we need to go back and put that state in the pop-up modal. So now I have this delete learner group state that I can select. So wherever I place this element, then I just select what pop-up type it is, and then that does stuff in the pop-up depending on what I've selected. Now we need to say if it's confirmed, there's, that's actually where, so I was saying to myself the other day, why did I forget to do the delete stuff? I didn't. I actually did already a condition here that said array type is learners, result, so say it's true, here it's true because it's a learner group. a learner tab. So it should go true in here, and then if it is true and you confirm click the pop-up, then it's going to delete the learner record. And if it were false, which means that the only other option is that it's a group, if it's not a learner, then it must be a group, then we delete the group and we show the toast to say that's been done. So that should basically just work in theory. So let's try to delete this Rikki-Tikki guy. So we've opened the pop-up and we should see confirmed clicked light up, and we don't. So click delete, nothing lights up. Click delete, condition. Oh, look, that's not true, that's not good. What happened there? Pop-up type 0. Why is pop-up type 0? Type, oh, because I am a very silly person. So when I add the state, I also have to add value to the state, don't I? So blank is blank, and delete learner group is delete learner group, or otherwise it doesn't pass the type. And then when I click delete, finally that will confirm, and it will delete the learner. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay, so it does go through. It goes in here. And create course, blanket, forgot. Pop-up type 0. Oh, awesome, awesome. That's what I wanted. Pop-up type 0. Why is that? Maybe because I have to open it again. Muppet. Look at that, all lighting up, beautiful. And so the pop-up type is delete learner group. That means that delete learner group is outputting true because that's what we told it to do. And so then this condition will get evaluated correct, and it will close and confirm and delete. Oh, okay. And not even show me the button. It'll just automatically delete the learner. How the heck did that happen? Because I didn't ask the button. I'm tired this morning. I'm sorry. I'm tired because I didn't connect the primary button to the condition to say when you click. So this is a funny Noodle thing. I had connected on true to close pop-up. I hadn't connected anything to evaluate. It means that the condition says, oh, you don't need me like to specifically evaluate on a certain signal. I'll just evaluate whenever I feel like it. So anytime a new condition comes in, it'll just say, oh, I received a new condition. I'll evaluate and make it true. And then it just deletes from the pop-up. So as soon as I connect the blue signal to that, then it says, oh, you only are allowed to evaluate when this particular thing happens, or multiple things in that case, but in other cases. But it means that you constrain it to say, okay, I've received the condition, but I'm not going to evaluate because nobody clicked the button yet. So there, click, delete, done. Does it work for groups? Oh, it's kind of overflowing there a bit, isn't it? Oh, it's not very pretty. Let's delete that one because I don't want to fix that right now. And he's gone. It's gone. Group deleted. And so the toast also is dynamic. It outputs based on the show toast. So based on the whatever the message is. So I have states, different success texts, group deleted or learner deleted. So that's good. So that's one bug done. One bug down. So there was that the logging in with the wrong password doesn't throw an error. This is something I literally last night kind of understood better with the stream that I did last night, was error handling in Noodle. You really need to take it seriously. So let's go back to the login page. Which is here. Okay, so we have a login container and a register container, and let's go and have a look at that. I think I'm not allowed on the login page because I'm already logged in yet, so we need to sign out. Okay. So login group. So yeah, at the moment there's several things. At the moment, I had feedback from users. There's nothing that says if you've done a wrong password or if if your account doesn't exist. You can debate in terms of security. Should you tell users that the password wasn't right? Because then that would tell a hacker that the username exists, you just need to keep trying passwords. If you say the username doesn't exist, then it means that the hacker can keep trying usernames until it says, oh yes, that username exists, but you don't have a password. And then they know that that account exists. So a hacker could try admin@classmates.fr, manager at classmates.fr. They could look up the client's name and say client name at resourceful.fr, and they would eventually find out who the account is. So it's kind of debatable. Do you want to give that information up to hackers? Let's just put something simple in place and leave that debate for another time. I think that's probably a bad excuse, but so we're going to show a toast if there's an error. The toast is going to say with a string formatter, the toast is going to say oops, something went wrong. And then we're going to put the error message in here. And then we take the error from the login and put the error into the string formatter, error message, and then that goes into the toast. So the formatted text will be the message, and the type is going to be a warning toast. So no matter what I do wrong, it's going to say something went wrong, password is required. So that's cool. So it's outputting some interesting messages. Invalid username password. So that's good. And it means that Noodle by default is outputting either the username or password is incorrect. We're not going to tell you which is better security wise. So that's great. I'm going to call that format error message. And this is going to be called error toast. Okay. Good stuff. Another thing I received feedback from users, which is also in this bug report, is Noodle doesn't by default trim or force lowercase. So if I do like Richard at digitalbricks.io, and my password is password, don't tell anyone, but I'll change it when we launch, I promise. If you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna hack that guy, I guess you probably could hack me today if you're watching the live. Yeah, better be careful about that one. So it says invalid username and password, because there is no capital R Richard in the database and it's case sensitive. So we need to do an expression there. So we're going to say email string dot trim. Is that what it is? Something like that. Oh, hang on. I know where I can go to find out. I'll go to my Bubble Noob handbook, because I'm a Bubble noob. No, and I'm talking about Bubble again. I'm a Noodle noob. So let's have a look at the Noodle Noob handbook. And if you need the link to this, it's in the Discord, or I'll be very happy to share it with you. It's free for everyone to use. And if you want to contribute, just send me a message and say you want to be added to the list of contributors, and I'll do that. So Noodle Bubble Dictionary. So I use the Bubble Dictionary because I'm such a Bubble person that I need to think about it in terms of Bubble expressions sometimes. But I'm slowly transitioning to the good side of the force. So 2 lowercase is the one that I want, and trimmed. Where is trimmed? Trim, I was right, just needed the function as well. Can I do both? I'm such a stupid JavaScripter. 2 lowercase. Either you're saying, yes, of course you can at the screen, or you're saying, well, duh, of course you can't. Whatever, we'll find out. So we're going to see the email input text in here. Oh no, it doesn't let me do 2. Okay then, so we have to do email trim. So let's trim it first, because the other report I got was that putting in spaces would also break it. So we're going to trim it first. Nice. And then we're going to put it through another expression, and then someone's going to be shouting at the screen, just do it in a function, you muppet. Like, yeah, well, that's no. So we're going to call that trimmed string dot to lowercase, because you can't do multiple lines in an expression, I think. I hope if somebody knows better than me, then please tell me, because I would love to know. So now we're formatting that and sticking it into the username field. So we're trimming and making lowercase, and so that means I won't make a mess anymore. So we disconnect the text from the login, of course. Now the text is going to be coming directly from our expression, and we don't hook up a do signal. We just let it run. So if somebody types in random letters, then it's just running all the time and trimming everything that we're typing in. I don't have other things like checking that it's got the right, like it's got an at or a dot or whatever, but the error is going to handle that, which is a really basic message saying invalid. So it's up to the user to know that if I've typed gmail.com and I forgot the at and I try to log in, that it says, no, that's not right. You have to just look at it again. You'll figure it out. So that's good. And then we're going to need to do the same thing for the register container. So why not? So either I copy paste these things because I say, well, whatever, it's no big deal. Or I say, I'm actually trying to build legacy here. So I have a little folder called controller. No, it wouldn't be in controller, would it? It would be in input components, media queries, global visual components. I should make a new folder. Global logic components. The more you can have, like in coding, the more you can have your own functions, the better. So let's say this is going to be a logic function called string trim and lowercase. Put that in here. Inputs is input string. Output is output string. And in between we trim and we make lowercase. So then it's just loading that code once into the front end, and we don't have to load it 100 times all over the place. And maybe in the future I want to do this more, like inputting learner emails. Maybe I want to make the learner emails trimmed and lowercase as well. So let's say that's going to be a regular thing that we're going to have to do. I'm not going to do signals or success signals. Again, I'm just going to let it run with whatever is inputted. It'll constantly get evaluated. Maybe that's not the best way to do it, but that's just how I roll, man. Look at that one little node, very pretty. I can take that, put that in here, and then output string, username, done. And then let's just double check that works, of course, won't we? Good. And then we're going to go and do the same thing for the register container. We're going to put in a string trim and lowercase element. And then I can reuse this in other apps as well. I could take, I can copy what's inside here. I can go in here, select all this stuff, except for the inputs and outputs I think I can't copy, but copy. And then I can paste that into, for example, the Noodle noob handbook, or maybe I have my own Excel sheet where I paste in code and the code comes out looking like this. So it's like a big long JSON string that you can just save anywhere. And if you paste it in somewhere, then it pastes in the same four elements. So that means you can really keep your own library completely separate from Noodle, but it obviously only works in Noodle, that you can just copy paste into a new project, and that would bring you loads of components into your new project, which is really nice. Anyway, so yeah, we want to do string trim and lowercase. We already put in, that's good. And so we want to put username and email into that. Email, text, input string, and then that input string is going to go into output string, is going to go into username, and output string is also the same for email. There we go. Nice. And so just double check that. I want to sign up, and so nice. Output strings are good. Do some spaces. So yeah, you can see that the input string has spaces. Output string, no spaces. Nice. So that's good. Bug squashed. I'm busy. Okay, and that's fine, don't care about that. Okay, I think that's probably enough for today. I'm gonna just go and work on something else, but I thought that was good to get our feet wet a little bit with Resourceful and see how that works, and just do a couple more. It wasn't really that advanced, just a bit more fast today, I suppose, than the beginner stuff with LearnBook. So I'll leave it there for today. Some good bug fixing, and I will see you guys